First, we'd like to extend our apologies to the many PlayStation Network and Curiosity Service users who we inconvenienced and worried because we potentially compromised their customer data. We offer our sincerest apologies. We'd like to take this opportunity to talk to you first about the facts regarding the compromised customer data as a result of the illegal intrusions. Secondly, about our system security measures. Thirdly, about safeguarding customers and business partners. Fourthly, about our service restoration plans. And lastly, our corporate strategy going forward. Please allow us to sit. First, I'd like to talk about the facts concerning the potentially compromised customer data as a result of the illegal intrusions. The servers that manage PlayStation Network and Curiosity are located at AT&T's server center in San Diego, California. Sony Network Entertainment International, SNEI, which oversees the network services within Sony Group, and was established April 1st, 2010. And this SNEI rents the space and manages the servers. Initially, on April 19 U.S. time, April 20 JST, we were alerted to unusual activity in the server. We immediately started an internal investigation, upon which we discovered unauthorized access had occurred between April 17th to 19th. Next, on April 20th U.S. time, April 21st JST, we temporarily turned off the servers to engage customer security, to ensure customer security, minimize customer risk, and to conduct a full investigation into what happened. At this point, we turned off PlayStation and Curiosity services. On the same day, we also engaged U.S. computer security firm to mirror our servers to begin an investigation. We quickly determined that this was a highly sophisticated attack by a skilled intruder who accessed our system and took steps to cover his tracks. We then brought in the second firm, very prominent in the field of computer forensics. On April 24th, U.S. time, we also engaged the highly specialized U.S. security firm who analyzed a large amount of data to assist in determining what occurred inside the servers and gather information for the investigation. Then on 26th U.S. time, because we couldn't rule out the possibility that other data may have been taken, we emailed registered users with the confirmed information as well as the safeguards to protect their customer information. We also posted this information on our related website. Initially, we couldn't rule out the possibility that customer security had been jeopardized as a result of these unauthorized intrusions, and ultimately confirmed through our experts that certain customer data had been taken. Information that was potentially obtained by unauthorized persons included name, address, email address, date of birth, PlayStation gender and PlayStation Network and Curiosity account login ID and password. And while there is no evidence that credit card data and expiration dates provide data including purchase histories and billing addresses, PlayStation Network and Curiosity security questions were taken. We've advised customers to remain vigilant because we cannot rule out the possibility. However, concerning the credit card, we have confirmed that 3 or 4-digit credit card security codes have not been compromised. We have no confirmed cases of damage caused by the compromised customer data, but rest assured that monitoring this remains our top priority. We've also asked the United States FBI to conduct criminal investigation to find who did this to our customers and to Sony. We will share information about the investigation when we have something to share. Now, I'd like to ask Hasejima-san, Chief Information Officer of Sony Corporation, who will explain how the hackers infiltrated Sony's server. Thank you. I'd like to start my explanation. This chart shows the a system which manages data on PlayStation Network and Curiosity, which consists of web server, web application server, and database servers. There are firewalls installed in between servers, and the minimally necessary authorized information only would be communicated. We suppose the attackers might have succeeded to invade the system with utilizing vulnerability on web application server. So the attacker made a tool inside the server with inappropriate methods and got an access right to database by utilizing this tool. And so we suppose that attacker might have succeeded to access data on database server, including personal information at this stage. And this, we suppose, would have been the manner that the access was made. So as Hirai mentioned, we decided that we could not rule out the potential possibility of information compromise.
For a breakdown of the number of registered PlayStation Network users by region, please refer to the distributed handouts. The amount of registered users, or number of the registered users with active credit cards is around 10 million. In addition to credit card payments, there are many payment mechanisms, including PlayStation Network Card, PlayStation Network, and ticket electronic payment or e-money payment. And I would like to next talk about the new security measures that we are taking. We are taking actions to prevent recurrence of these incidents by taking these actions. First, we are accelerating an already planned move of a data server systems currently in San Diego to a new data center in a different location with a more advanced system security. Next, we are enhancing our detection capabilities for unauthorized intrusions in an effort to provide even higher security for customer data. They include added automated software monitoring and configuration management to help defend against new attacks, enhanced levels of data protection and encryption, enhanced ability to detect software intrusions within the PlayStation Network and Curiosity Network, unauthorized access, and unusual activity patterns. Implementation of additional firewalls. In addition, we have decided to create a position of a Chief Information Security Officer within SNE who will directly report to Mr. Hasejima, seated next to me, Chief Information Officer of Sony Corporation. In addition to restoring some of the services, PS3 will have a system software update that will require all PS3 users to change their PlayStation Network and Curiosity account passwords. We regret that we are causing this inconvenience. As an added layer of security, the password can only be changed on the same PS3 in which the account was created or activated, or through validated email confirmation. To defend against credit card fraud and identity theft, we are asking customers to be vigilant and periodically check their credit card statements. Customers can check their purchase history on PlayStation Network and Curiosity services through our customer support system. And customers are invited to personally sign in and check their account information or purchase history to check for any abnormalities. Also, we are asking the customers to change their password by signing in. And also, we are asking the individuals who use the same ID and password for PlayStation Network and Curiosity as they do for other internet services to change those other passwords as well. We are safeguarding customers by informing them that Sony will not contact them in any way under any circumstances, including by email, by phone, or by post, asking for your credit card number or other personally identifiable information. While there is no evidence at this time that credit card data was taken or has been taken, we will consider covering the cost of reissue of new credit cards to affected customers if they wish to do so. Also, the company is committed to helping its customers protect their personal data and will provide a complimentary offering to assist users in enrolling in identifying theft protection services in each country, enrolling in identity theft protection services in each country. The company will also roll out a program to provide our global customers with a selection of service options and premium content as an expression of the company's appreciation for their patience, support, and continued loyalty during this period of inconvenience. This Welcome Back program will include selected content for free download. All consumers coming back to the PlayStation Network will be provided with 30-day free membership in the PlayStation Plus premium service, and current members of PlayStation Plus will receive 30 days of free service, and Music Unlimited subscribers will receive 30 days of free service. And regarding service restoration, after enhancing security and confirming the safety of our systems, we plan to incrementally restart these services, and additional services will be incrementally made available. and details can be found on the website. So go to the restoration of a service. We are currently confirming the security and safety of the system. Once we validate the status of the system, within a week we will plan to restart part of our services. They will include a restoration of online gameplay across PS3 and PSP, or to play downloaded movies from PlayStation Network video delivery service on PS3, PSP, and Media Go, and playing of the unexpired movie rentals through the video on-demand service powered by Curiosity, and also PlayStation Home and chat functionalities. And we are aiming to restore full services, including PlayStation Store and purchasing features for Curiosity services within this month. Lastly, I'd like to discuss our corporate strategy moving forward. Network strategy is one of Sony Group's most important initiatives, and we will continue to strengthen them. In order to do so with strength, as SNE as well as Sony Group will learn from these incidents and further enhance our customer data management capabilities. While there may be no relation, we have also received attacks from Internet Group Anonymous, who, in addition to personal information of Sony's top management, also publicized information about their families, their names and information relative to their schools on the Internet. And they have also called for a protest sit-in at Sony stores across the world. These kinds of sequential attacks on a company may not be limited only to Sony, but in addition to our own initiatives, we will cooperate and work with law enforcement agencies and related organizations to continuously combat illegal intrusions to preserve the security of customer data as well as the safety of a networked society. Again, we'd like to offer our deepest and sincerest apologies to the millions of registered PlayStation Network and Curiosity users around the world for potentially compromising their customer data and causing grave concern, as well as for making services unavailable for an extended period of time. Please accept our deepest apologies, and we will continue to offer information in a timely manner going forward. I'd like to ask you, therefore, for your understanding. Thank you very much. This concludes my presentation.
はい、ありがとうございます。
Thank you. The presentation materials that are used now will be made available to you by the end of this press conference. The copies will be at the reception desk, so please pick it up as you leave here. Now the floor is open to your questions. When you ask your question, please identify yourself by stating your name and affiliation. Because of time constraint, please limit the number of questions to 2 per person, 2 questions per person. The one in the front row on the left-hand side of the room. Nishioka from Nikkei. First point about the credit card. As of now, you said the maximum 10 million cases. Is it the maximum case of information compromise on a credit card, and what is the probability of the actual compromise or not? And also, you mentioned you would restore the services. There are various questions raised overseas, and also some inquiries about the current state of investigation, and the governmental agencies and authorities ask such information. Is it possible to restore the services under such circumstances? And with this stoppage prolonged, what would be the impact on the corporate performance? Let me respond. The number of credit card registration, as I mentioned, is about 10 million. So, as I mentioned, whether the actually the credit card related information has been compromised or not, we do not have a clear evidence, but at the same time we cannot rule out the potential possibility that there may be some information compromise. So that's why we informed as we put it. We have not received any actual report of the illicit usage of the credit card information, but in view of ensuring the utmost security of the users' information, we made this announcement. The second question, already the U.S. House sent a list of questions to me, and we have not received in person, but we downloaded the copy from network, and we are trying our best to respond to the questions in good faith and in the most sincerest manner. And in reopening or resuming our services in each country, in each region, or in each area, if there are any adjustments required, we will comply with the requirement in each location while trying to resume our services. So basically, as I mentioned, by the end of a week time, we would like to restart our services in order. And about the potential impact on our performance, the program to ensure the high security of personal information, and also in some regions, the fee required for reissuing the credit cards, and also various services we offer on PlayStation Network and Curiosity, and also the sales are lost when network services have been stopped. There are many factors involved. Therefore, at this point in time, we are not in position to say one way or the other the potential impact on our performance. We have yet to scrutinize that in full. And as soon as we have better information, we will inform you. Whether the credit card information has been compromised or not, we do not know that now. But as Hirai mentioned, we have not received any report that actual damages have been caused. And so, again, at this point, it's very difficult for us to assess the potential damage amount. Next question, please.
In the middle row, a front to the left. Kiyoshima, Nikkei Information Strategy. Mr. Hasejima, CIO, to ask you this question. April 20th, initially. Abnormalities were reported. What was the situation like? How did you receive that report initially? And initial actions taken might have allowed you to save to avoid this situation if proper actions have been taken initially. Thank you. When the information came my way on the 20th of April, the potential for improper access or intrusion, that was the extent of the information that there might have been improper intrusion or access. And as was explained today, we looked into the situation in detail, and we found out that it was indeed a very much sophisticated technique used in trying to get into our system in a very much an advanced, sophisticated way. So as of even now, as you have been hearing, as of now, whether certain pieces of data have been compromised and have leaked, we are not yet able to be certain. Next question. On the right-hand side, with the white shirt. Nomura Asahi newspaper. The card data, credit card data, so far there is no evidence of compromise, but in the handout, some personal data which is deemed to have been compromised, there's some example indicated. What evidence do you have for you to say so? And these data are for how many people? Data that has possibly been compromised. And second question, you said you are cooperating with the authorities, and you mentioned FBI. Have you reported the damages, or are you taking the official actions such as lawsuit? What legal actions are possible for you to take? And also, if you have any criminal procedures or actions that you've studied outside the United States, can you tell us more about what you're doing? Yes, I will answer that question. Potential compromise or leakage, the personal data and personal information. And this is a possibility. I must remind you which piece of data for which amount has been leaked. We are still investigating and looking into the situation, so there's, it is not possible for us to give you with any certainty what has been the extent. But the number of registered accounts is 78 million, as I said. So there's a possibility that as much as information concerning that many accounts has been compromised. But let me add these words, 78 million accounts, I said. But in some cases, there's duality. Same users have created more than one account. In these cases, same names and same addresses are registered for multiple accounts. So in terms of how many people, how many individuals were actually involved, we surmise that it would be less than 78 million. But as far as the volume or the number of data is concerned, it's for 78 million accounts, potentially. As for investigation, SNEI is based in the United States, headquartered in the United States, and therefore it is with the FBI that we explained the situation and asked them for initiating an investigation. But beyond that, as the investigation has just been started, allow me to refrain from giving you any more information. And I think there was one other question. Yes, yes. Other countries. We asked authorities to work on the case outside the United States. As of now, not in my knowledge, but in different countries and different regions, the investigating authorities and other entities have come to us with inquiries. And to the extent we received inquiries and questions, we are responding to them on a case-by-case individual basis.
はい。ですね。
If there is evidence that information is taken out, then we can determine definitely that there has been a compromise. But about the certainty of information compromise, we do not have that 100% certainty yet. But as I mentioned, that we cannot rule out the possibility. Therefore, we should be informing the customers and to ensure the information security. That's why we make this announcement, and also we posted the notice on our website. Question is not on the microphone.
はい、これはですね。
The upper part of the page about the personal information says that potentially there may be a possibility, but the bottom half, compared to the possibility of credit card information being compromised, when it comes to personal information listed on the top half of the page, the possibility may be a little higher. That's why there is difference in expression here.
いや、印象ではございません。これは
No, it's not any impression on our part. This reflects the very detailed, lengthy process of our investigation and analysis. And in order to make that clear, we categorize into two, as you see on this page. If I may supplement, concerning the credit card information, and the reason why we think the possibility of such information being taken out is lower is because the information is encrypted, and also there is no trace that the hacker went to read that part of the database. And that's why we classify the degree of information compromise into two, as you see on this page. Next question, please. The person in the second row on the left-hand side of the room. Nakamichi of Nikkei Electronics. Two questions. First point, about the application servers. The vulnerability of web application server was attacked, you mentioned. Has it been the known vulnerability or the new vulnerability? Please answer that. And also, what type of system was it? A patch or whatever? If you could delve into such details. The vulnerability this time was a known vulnerability. The type of known vulnerability known in the world, but SNEI management was not aware of that, cognizant of that. So we are trying to improve and enhance such aspects by establishing a corporate information security officer, and to further improve that. And about the specifics, that may lead to another attack on such system elsewhere, so we'd like to refrain from that. And second point, you mentioned you would update the PS3. Is it to exclude any remaining vulnerability? Are you talking about the system's vulnerability? No, the firmware update of PS3 console itself, there are various aspects. One is the most visible to the users is that when connecting to the network, we would request the users to change the password. This is the flow. We would ask the customers to go through in PS3. And in resuming the services, as was mentioned, we will move the data center and also strengthen and enforce our measures to fight against the unauthorized illegal intrusions. With the combination of all these measures, we will make preparation to start the reopening of our services. Mr. Hasejima, anything to add? No? Okay, next question, please.
Up front, in the first row, on the right-hand side, I see a hand. Yoshimura, Kyodo News Agency. About compensation, I have a question. You said that if caused the customers inconvenience, some services will be offered to them free of charge for that. But in other respects, for instance, you talked about the fees to be paid for reissuance of credit cards. Any other programs for compensation are you contemplating? First of all, yes, when credit card reissuance requires some fee, the fee will be payable by us. And in some regions, as I briefly mentioned before, the private personal data of users, including credit card information, will continue to offer services relative to monitoring of whether illegal use of information has been used. And in some countries and some regions, there is insurance program to cover those situations. We will be offering their assistance for them to use such programs, insurance programs. So all the different services available in regions, or fees and other expenses that customers will be bearing, individually we will look into the situation and will try to offer them the support in the best possible way. As of now, illegal use of credit card information has not been reported. But against that possibility, in order to protect the private and personal information, we would like to deploy these programs by region by region. Another question, I understand that you've identified the situation only on a gradual basis, but outside of Japan, there's a criticism against the way you've disclosed the situation. Today's press conference, for instance, you could have called this conference much sooner than waiting until today. So about your disclosure policy, do you think that there's been any problem or weakness with regard to the way you deliver information? Well, I gave you a little a time sequence of what has happened. First of all, we found out that there was illegal access or intrusion. So initially, we respond to that by suspending and stopping the PlayStation 3 and Curiosity services. At that time, we didn't know the details of the accesses that were being made, but based on the information, we tried to prevent any spread of the damages, and that's why we initially stopped the service. And PlayStation Network is very much a large system, as you know. So we engaged 3 companies to conduct analysis of the situation and investigate into the situation, so that we were able to identify the situation, the snapshot situation of how our system was working at the time accesses were made. And this involved a voluminous data, and it took time to analyze all those pieces of data. And that's why we have to take these actions in a gradual way, as I indicated when I talked about the day-by-day history of what happened. But as we became more certain of the situation, then we took a prompt action to communicate the situation to the customers. And let me add this point. When it stopped the system, which is something we did, as I said, but stopping the system, it required a sort of gradual stoppage and outage of parts of the systems. So more time was needed for us to actually bring down the system than we'd expected. And again, there was a voluminous amount of data which we had to analyze, which took more time than we'd have hoped. So this, in turn, caused more inconvenience on the part of the customers. But this is all because we wanted to provide customers with the most certain, most sure basis of information as to the situation. Sony tablet was announced on the 26th in Japan. At that time, did you know about this situation? At that time, we were aware that there's been improper accesses and intrusions made, and information analysis and investigation was underway at that time. I was aware of that, but and I may be repeating what I've said before. As I said, we wanted to offer information to customers, pieces of information which we are certain of. At that time, not certain and about the information. Information has not been confirmed, and that's why it was one day after the announcement of the tablet that we delivered this information.
Next question, in the middle of the room. Yamada of Nikkei. The first question addressed to Mr. Hirai. As Sony, what do you think was the purpose and objective of this illegal intrusion? There is high likelihood that they did not take out any credit card information. So if that's the case, this intrusion may not be for monetary purposes. What do you think was the reason? It has to do with the troubles you had with hackers? Let me respond to the second question first. As I mentioned in my initial statement, in the past, for the past months or month and a half, we've experienced the various attacks on Sony's systems. And we have yet to identify the direct relationship with such a group. And there is no evidence which would allow us to say definitely that there was any relationship with that particular group. And the second question, the purpose or the objective of this illegal intrusion. There could be various speculations and guesses, but at this point in time, what was the purpose of intrusion into our systems and to commit the various illegal acts? We are not in a position to say one way or the other. It's not that we do not have any information at all, but even though we have some information, but it is still within the realm to some extent of speculation, so we cannot say it definitely. Another question, a technical question. You mentioned that the password might be taken out. Why is it? I think password is usually encrypted and stored, but password was not encrypted, or because application server's vulnerability was attacked, so there was no significance in the meaning about encrypted password. If that's the case, then the credit card information being encrypted might not have been prevented any illegal access. How many questions altogether? But if I may start, and I'd like to ask Mr. Hasejima to talk about technical aspect. The password and other information other than credit card information. Leading on to the database, there are the various security measures taken. Naturally, we have taken such measures. However, whether a password has been encrypted or not, password has not been encrypted. However, concerning credit card information, it is stored in a different part of the database and being encrypted. That's my understanding. Yes, that's the case, Hasejima-san said. So, next question, please.
右側の列
Right-hand side. Murai, Reuters. In the last part of the presentation, you talked about network strategy, which you said your company will continue to enhance and strengthen. But as to the future, Curiosity will be deployed globally, I understand, and also NGP will be announced, and new tablet will be announced also in autumn. So you have a lot scheduled as far as your strategies are concerned. But now that this incident that has happened now will affect your schedule and also your effort to strengthen the network strategy, what will be the actual damage that you'll be feeling? Let me answer that question. Curiosity, the future worldwide deployment, and also PlayStation Network. Some regions are yet to receive PlayStation Network services, so there as well we are going to reach corners worldwide, and also tablet, which was just announced recently, a next generation portable, so-called. That's the next generation product for SEE, the next generation product. All three of these hinge upon the functioning of the networks for us to be able to offer excellent customer experiences. Network has a very close relationship to these three services. And the latest situation that has occurred and the future for us, in some cases we have to work long term, and also we will be taking actions more immediately. But what I can say is that first and foremost, for network services of Sony and network products, we have to regain once again the trust and confidence of our users. Our entire company is devoted to achieving that by strengthening our network systems technically, but also by communicating to the users so that services and contents will be indeed felt as being very enjoyable by customers, and also by offering network products such as tablets and NGP to help enhance such experiences to be enjoyed by services. And these are the important actions on our roadmap going forward, and we have to travel on that roadmap in the days ahead. Point of confirmation, tablet and NGP launch schedule, some has been announced. There will be no change in that schedule. As of now, for both tablet and NGP, we made announcements at the meetings or sessions. There is no change in details which were announced in those occasions.
Next question. On the left-hand side of the room, in the middle. Saito, freelancer, 2 questions. First point, concerning this incident this time, if the customers wanted to cancel the services or to nullify or to erase the information, what would you do? And about the re-registration of PS3 password in the area of security, the problem is that users would not change the password when the password change takes place, such as the password A is changed to B, but then again changed to A, and the same password is used for long time. Would you be preventing such occurrence? The first point, if customers wish to cancel the services of PSN or Curiosity, then in each region, in each areas, we will cope with such request in good faith. And about the password and change of the possible change of the password, I know such concern exists. Therefore, we will take various measures like the notice on website and taking every possible opportunities to encourage the frequent resetting of the password. And also, if the similar ID or password are used in other online services, then that should not be done. And we will inform customers to take necessary measures, not just because of this case, but generally speaking, for the purpose of better protection of the personal information. These are the measures which should better be taken, and we'll make such recommendation. You mean a system to prevent it? Question is not on the microphone.
ですね、それは
As far as I am aware, there is no such measures. I will inform you again by confirming that rather than giving you any misleading piece of information. Next question, please.
では、右手の列のですね、前から
section on the right, second row. Gentleman in green shirt. Nishida, freelance. I'd like to ask you for more detail concerning the impact on your business. You have a company with a large-scale network service, so an incident like this could have been expected, not just limited to Sony, but previously to this incident, how have you planned for a occurrence like this? Did you have a contingency plan? And also, what are the actions you're taking for piracy or for hacking? Because hardwares with such possibilities always living with such inherent risks. So you are fighting against hackers and pirates. You said that you'll be taking stringent action, but how are you going to live with them? What will be the message that you'll be delivered to those people in the society? Or how to live with them? The second part of the question. And I'd like to focus my discussion centering on PlayStation. The PlayStation has got an ecosystem, or the business model. What it is that it's got a lot of software, a lot of contents provided not just by first-party providers, but third-party partners are involved. Because software is provided and sold by third-party partners, and we have to be there to protect the intellectual properties and copyrights. And we are there to offer a platform which will provide security in terms of protection of such rights. By offering such protection systems, we will have the availability of a lot of softwares by all the parties, which will be, at the end of the day, enjoyed by a large number of customers. So that's our ecosystem. We have the contents creators, which are part of this ecosystem. We have to make sure that they are creative, that they are willing to come up with new services and new titles. That's the system. We don't want that system to be undermined. Activities of hackers or piracy, those are the things that might undermine the willingness of the partners to come up with more software products, the ecosystem. We want to keep the integrity of our system, and we don't want to see any undermining of the very basic part of that system. that we so much support. And therefore, to the extent that there are people who are trying to undermine or to damage any part of that system, we believe that we have to be very resolute and stringent about any actions that we should take against them. And the first part of your question, okay. Before now, Sony, or other than Sony, both Sony and companies other than Sony, when it comes to network and online service business, of all the companies, the leakage of information and illegal access or actions to damage the network services, the fact that there was an inherent risk associated with the services, I mean, it was known, not just by Sony, but everyone involved. And Sony has offered all kinds of network services, including Sony's PlayStation 2. And so protection of the information, customer information, has always been on our mind. That has been part of our business pursuit to protect security of information. We've taken all the necessary actions. As far as Sony Group is concerned, we have a set of standards to follow to best protect customer information. For some long time now, we have had such a system in place. But now, still, we face this recent situation. So what have we been lacking? What has been the fault with our system? Or have we done something to take actions in terms of a prompt delivery of information to customers? To all the things that have happened, what is needed for us to revisit and review the entire system that we have. Let me add these first. As you heard from Hirai-san before, in the last few months, there's been this group, Anonymous, which has acted worldwide, more or less, approaching the IT systems and networks of companies throughout the world, attacking these parts of systems repeatedly. We face this, and our CIO, Hasejima, has tried to respond to the situation with the best protection to best defend us from such attacks by engaging outside the security firms. So we've tried to do as much as we could, but the recent attacks, we don't know who has or have waged these attacks, but they've focused on the weakness and vulnerability of the software to do the act of hacking. But as Hirai-san said, network service, the business, is a core part of the service delivery and the business of Sony's. And to be able to do so, we have to protect information in the best possible way, in the maximum possible way. And a situation like this probably may not be one which can be resolved and cleared by Sony itself, Sony alone. And therefore, as we are living in a networked society, and in that network society, customers must be able to enjoy such an environment with security and with a great experience. We have to deal with these unwanted intrusions or actions. Sony will try to deal with this kind of situation the best we can, but also we have to involve the initiative of the industry, people at large, and also the regulating and other authorities, because there will be some difficult social ramifications that we have to deal with. But still, we will be very serious in dealing with this kind of a situation.
One point about the concerning the question concerning the encryption of password, I'd like to correct myself. Passwords have not been encrypted but hashed. That was the correct way of putting it. There may be some more questions, so we'd like to continue for a little more while. So the front part of the middle of the room. Kamishima of .com. First, about the speed of information disclosure. PlayStation blog of SCEA, the information disclosure was quicker and more specific than what we see in Japan. What's the reason? And the second question about the cracking, there was reference to the cracking action. The PlayStation 3 root key was cracked as information, as the reporting goes. And I'm sure the measures have been taken, but will you be taking the fundamental measures against the cracking of the root key? Mr. Hasejima will answer the second question. And the first point, depending on the region or country, there are various methods of communicating to the users. At present, in the US and in Europe, we carry out blogs. And SCE Japan, not in the form of blog, but on our website, we have been posting the information and notice. But going forward, not only this one, but in terms of our general communication with users or the communication tools, in Japan also, we would like to deploy blogs just as we do in the United States and Europe. The SCEJ is now looking into this. Therefore, in the US or the Europe, the information is uploaded on a blog, and then, depending on the market features of each region or the country, the information specific to such region or U.S. may be carried by such blog and may not be seen elsewhere. But basically, we would like to carry the similar line of information in different parts of the world, and may not be exactly the same. Can you repeat the second part of the question again? Second question.
はいはいはい。
申し上げます。はい。
ですね。
About that question, because of security consideration, we are not in a position to share the full information, but basically on the web or internet, in case the various information flowed out, or there may be various such cases, but as I mentioned, basically, it has to do with a very basic part of our business, and in order to protect our IP of the basic part of our business, we have various measures and mechanisms, and if there is any act which would disrupt that part or to bore a hole in that, then we should take stringent measures to cope with that.
左手の列の前。
Second row on the left hand side. Kanna, TBS. Two questions. First of all, compensation for the users, free service offering, game downlink for 30 days, or the expenses paid for reinsurance of credit cards. You mentioned some, but how much will that be per user? Do you have any idea how much you'll be paying to individual users? Well, let me sort things out first. First of all, when it comes to credit cards, the protection of personal information, personal data, services relative to that, including the commissions to be paid for reinsurance of credit cards. Largely speaking, that's part of the protection of customers' information. That's one thing. But also, due to the stoppage of the network services, we've caused inconvenience for them not being able to use the services. So for that, for a certain period of time, some services and contents will be offered free of charge. These are two different things. So I have to say that they are being considered separately. So first of all, talking about the compensation coverage First of all, as of now, there is no clear evidence that credit card information has been leaked. So we don't have any information to that extent. Improper use of a credit card has not been reported yet. So that's the current situation. But if there is a legal usage, and if the customers actually suffer damage, then such situation will be dealt with in a separate way, case by case. Second point, what do you think will be the responsibility and accountability of management toward this situation? Well, first of all, I am speaking to you in this conference today because PlayStation Business, Sony Computer Entertainment, PlayStation Network, and Sony Network Entertainment, the network strategy of the Sony Group, Kaz Hirai is responsible for all these inside Sony. That's why I'm taking this table today to speak to you. But as far as I'm concerned, what I have to be thinking in the days ahead is to make sure that Sony's network strategy, including contents and services and products carried through that network, how we can regain the trust and confidence of our customers. Whatever actions and measures I can take to regain customers' confidence, I will try my best. So for customers to show their support and confidence to Sony, that's my mission for the time being, I think.
Next question. In the central part of the room. Toda from Yomiuri newspaper. 2 questions. The first question, Mr. Kanbe earlier mentioned that for the past 2-3 months there has been the illegal access and attack, and you have taken the maximum defense fighting against that. But still, why is it that there was software vulnerability there? And also, the U.S. entity managing the services could not identify that? Well, so far, the main entity of the attacks, main approach of the attack, for instance, was to send a voluminous amount of mail to one server to disrupt the server function, that kind of attack. And in terms of the actions, the information obtained on the network will be leaked or spread, including personal information. Such attacks took place repeatedly, and each time the security team throughout the world, led by Mr. Hasejima, we have the team and took the various necessary measures. But this time, the PlayStation Network and Curiosity Services managed by SNEI, we thought we've taken the enough management and control measures, but looking back, there might have been a room for further enhancement or improvement. And if you say that we were not fully sufficient, then we have to admit that and try to improve on that. If I may supplement, the cyber attack and on Sony by the group called Anonymous, we've taken the defensive action on a group-wide basis. In Sony, we have a full mechanism to protect and ensure the information securities, and on a globally and regionally, we have teams and we share all the information about the attack in full and took measures. Therefore, this time it is quite regrettable that it happened, but this is the time and opportunity to review our measures and set up in full and procedures included so that we can fully prevent the recurrence of it. The second question, to cope with the customers who would like to cancel the services, you mentioned that the maximum number of accounts is 78 million. Has there been any requests already for cancellation of services or actual cases? Or is there any likelihood that, that such requests would spread going forward? First, about the PlayStation networks, the basic systems or the systems concerning members, 78 million accounts, that is, they established through registration. And the flat fee subscription service per month, well, it's not that type. There is one case we call PlayStation Plus, one of the services among the PlayStation network services. That is the subscription service per month. So other than PlayStation Plus, there is no system of subscription or membership. Therefore, there is no this concept of canceling the membership or withdrawing from the membership. But in order to purchase the products or services in PlayStation stores, the users use the wallet, the system of wallet. And then the users charge the amount or in a prepaid way, the amount each one decides. So that's a system. So if any user wishes to withdraw from this usage member of PlayStation Network, if we use it the membership, then that could only be the PlayStation Plus monthly subscription, how we refund the remaining unused portion, or maybe how to refund the prepaid amount in the wallet if there is any unused. And then we'll cope with that individually on a case-by-case basis. And at this point in time, the type of calls we receive from the users in the call center, the most of such calls have to do with the timing of the resumption of the services, and also the concerning the personal information, credit card information, mostly such information. So as I mentioned, the PlayStation Network is not based on this concept of membership. So there is no request about withdrawal from the membership. So we do not obtain such requests. One point of correction. The number of accounts on PlayStation Network, 77 million. We say 77 million as number. Next question, please.
右手の列のですね、前の方。
Raise your hand on the right-hand side, the first row. Hasegawa, Kyoto Press. You've received inquiries from authorities, including FBI. Sony, being a Japanese company, what about police in Japan? Have they contacted you? And also the offering of 30-day free programs. How much will that be in dollar or yen terms, these free services? First of all, Japanese police. Have they contacted us? I have to check on this one. But as of now, in our knowledge, no. Yet, the investigation authorities of the world they've contacted us to tell us that they wanted us to cooperate with their actions because of the potential that credit card related information must have been compromised, or the investigation that they will be initiating against hacking. Sony, they want Sony to cooperate with whatever actions and initiatives that they are taking. That's the extent of contact. And second question, the contents of the free offering will be different depending on the region, geographical areas, so I cannot generalize how much services will be offered for free. But generally, let me talk about the basic package. Available downloading of free contents. It depends on the titles, but a few thousand yen or some will be a bit more costly. And also for PlayStation Plus, again, there's a regional geographical difference, but it's around $15 up to $20 of services, not limited to those, but the combination of those will be offered to the user community of the regions, depending on the area. That's the part of the network service offering. Next question.
No. 左手の列の一番
At the very front, on the left-hand side of the room. Ogasawara of Nikkei Computer. One question. On the 20th of April, we recognized the issue. But between 17th and 19th, why is it that you could not detect the issue? And by taking what measures can you say you can prevent the recurrence of this issue?
19日に不正アクセスの
We confirmed the illegal access on the 19th of April.
はい、
This time, the potential vulnerability was attacked, and we could not detect it in advance. And the question has to do with what sort of measures we take to prevent the recurrence. This illegal intrusion attacking the vulnerability, we take the appropriate measures to cope with that, and also to have a strict surveillance and monitoring. And as Mr. Hirai mentioned, we will enhance the robustness of the data center, and we have to look into that. When vulnerability is detected or identified, how to cope with that? It's not that you can take measures immediately each time the identification is made, but because the various tests to be conducted, therefore, we should increase the frequency of tests and examination. And these are the measures we are contemplating. So it is the comprehensive strengths we equip ourselves to cope with that, not just one set of measures, but all the combination of possible measures.
右側の列
The middle row on the right-hand side. Imura, NHK. One basic point of clarification about the data and network services, or the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Portable comprising these services. How many units have been sold worldwide? And these are home consoles and portable games. And what's your market share, respectively? And how many of those users actually have accounts And also the same question for curiosity accounts. I think we should give you the latest definite data, so we'll provide you with the latest figures or data. Because this is not a press conference on PlayStation itself, we didn't come with the latest numbers or data, but in terms of PS3, which is connected to PlayStation Network, 37 million units are actually connected to the network. The actual installation base is actually larger than that. About 15 million is what we think. And PSP also, connection to PS network is about 16 million units. But as I said, we'll come back to you with the definitive data. As far as the Curiosity service is concerned, the service is still new. It was just launched. And also, devices available in Curiosity are still limited. So the actual number of accounts it's not been announced because this is still a system which is expected to grow the stage of development. And in terms of the dates, April 20th, Japan time, the 27th, the data you gave us were as of April 27th, but no new information has been updated on your systems. So why did you not hold a press conference as of April 27th and you have the data available that you're giving us today? Well, one thing is that 27th, we announced that there was a possibility for compromising of information, leakage of information, the ID of the customers. We knew that was the situation. That's why we made that announcement immediately on that date. But because we are asking you to share your time with us in a setup like this, a press conference, we felt that we have to have some idea as to the timing of resumption of the services and when the services are restarted, what will be the actual services delivered to customers, and as regards protection of the customer data, what will be the actions and measures that Sony is taking. And those are all concerns that we knew that you were going to have and expressed to us. And therefore, we have been in consultation with all members of the company and also all those related, such as insurance companies, so that things are more or less clear, and so that we're in a position to give you a more of an overall package of things to follow as to the resumption of services. And once those were identified, we decided to choose this day today for the press conference.
では、中ほど
So, in the central part of the room, please. Asaka of Nikkei Electronics, 2 questions. The first question, you mentioned that the vulnerability of application server was attacked, and so going through firewalls and IPS, the attack was made. Why is it that they successfully went through the security infrastructure? And when you improve the data center, how would you improve the data center? As I mentioned in my explanation, the method taken this time was that it came in as the normal transaction which could not be detected by the firewall, and went out as the ordinary transaction. So it is a tunnel. It was a very skillful approach, and a certain command was attached. And having that as a trigger, the manipulation was done from outside. So the conventional mechanism could not detect such attack. But going forward, of course, we will take various measures to prevent the recurrence, and we are taking such measures. And also and we will introduce a further robust and strong security system. We're looking into that, and we have already introduced that, but the details we cannot, I cannot comment because of security consideration. The second point about the log, which will lead to the analysis of the compromising of credit card or not. Well, is it the insufficient log information? Which because of that you cannot determine, or you do you have the log information there? And if you analyze that, you can say with certainty whether there was a compromise or a leakage or not. That is exactly something we are conducting, and so I would like to refrain from talking about details. And I cannot give you the timing when our analysis will be completed, or whether we have necessary information at hand to elucidate that. Well, it's very difficult to put it, but I would like to leave this to the process of analysis we'll be conducting. The number you asked earlier about PSP 69 million, PS3 50 million, and 80% of PS3 is connected to a network. Those are the numbers related to the earlier question. Yes?
質問ございますね。はい。
More questions? Yes. Again on the right column. No, left-hand side. Tanaka Yomiuri newspaper. So it was the application server which is accessed wrongly. Has been something like this in the past? Any trace of things like this happening before? Improper access like this. This time it happened between 17th and 19th. Was it just one-time access? First of all, improper access like this, have we had a previous experience? No. So this kind of access infiltration, was it just limited to this occurrence on the 17th and 19th, between 17th and 19th? As we've analyzed the situation up to now, the results tell us, yes, it was limited to only that occurring between the 17th and 19th. We're behind schedule, but perhaps we can accept two more questions in the end. I see a hand on the right-hand side, three hands actually. The one at the back, please. Thank you. Segawa, freelance journalist. Two questions. First of all, this year, at the top of this year, there's a situation got the leakage of root keys, so that there's a strong cases of hackings. Hackers have declared that the security was not working at all. So there's a voice calling for a total review of the PlayStation system. Last year, there was an illegal charging of credit cards on PSN. And that has been a fact known because PNS has announced that. Against those situations, no basic actions have been taken. You've rewritten firms, but hackers have always gone ahead of whatever you've done. No fundamental actions have been taken. Can you say with a certainty that you can return to full security with the PSN system? Well, a lot of illegal and improper actions, behavior were seen. Events have been seen. They've been all reported. We are aware of things that have happened involving PSN. The PlayStation 3 itself, the product itself, its security functions and the level of protection must be improved as much as possible. We know that. And also the networks to which PlayStation 3s are connected, the security levels there must be enhanced as well. Through the combination of these two approaches to enhanced protection, we know that enjoyable systems, games will be offered to the customers with a sense of security, a feeling of security. So we have to work on the system and also PlayStation 3s, the consoles themselves. So in the days ahead, in the times ahead, in many ways, we'll improve them, even taking into considerations the usage which have not been originally contemplated when PS3 was provided. And those unauthorized, unexpected uses actually occur, and we will do our best to prevent even such situations, cases from occurring. One other question concerns the customer information. I think you said that individual cases of damages will be handled separately, case by case. There are some precedences, such as some company offering 30,000 yen, or local governments ensuring up to 15,000 yen for leakage of community personal information. And I know that those breaches of security will actually occur in different parts of the world, actual damage experienced by customers. For you, what is your idea about compensating them personally? How much? And also, you said that there's no one who's opted to leave the system, but on the 27th, after the 27th, your policy was not to accept any cancellation, but on the 27th, you kind of stealthily changed that line, saying that if there's a wish for people to leave the system, they will be accepted. First of all, your question concerning the credit card. As I have been trying to explain to you so far, actual breach or leakage of information, we have not been able to definitively confirm the situation, whether there has or not, there has not been any leakage or compromise. The actual usage of a credit card improperly, there is no report that I have received of such a case. Given these two situations, what we are doing is, as I said before, the basic personal information relative to credit card. I talked to you about the actions and initiatives that we've instituted so far. And hypothetically, if it so happens that there are, in the days ahead, personal damages suffered by individual customers, then, as I said, they will be dealt with in a case-by-case basis. The speaker is not speaking to the microphone. I didn't catch the first part of your comment. It's not about the credit card. The name, address, age, password, mail address, these important pieces of personal information has been leaked. So there's sort of a psychological, mental impact as well. So compensation must cover that. The actual financial damage related to the illegal use of credit cards is not just the problem. That's not just the problem. I use credit cards, and if I were an account on PSN, I would be the first to leave the system and cancel the system. Well, in the previous the policy, the program, in a normal circumstance, For those willing to leave the system, there was a set policy so that if they had a wallet charged with some amount, then the balance would have to be used up before they left the system. That was a previous requirement of the policy. But now, if there's a balance on the wallet in the PlayStation network, and if they wish to leave the system right away, they no longer want to play on the PlayStation network anymore. If that's the wish of the customer, then now we don't have the system to refund the balance immediately on our system, but we're thinking of ways to repay or refund the balance to the customers. We are looking into the details of how this can be done. Again, the speaker is out of reach of the microphone. About private information, personal data. About possible leakage of information. We have caused a grave concern and uncertainty on the part of the customers. We apologize for this. We very much regret that this situation has happened. And given the situation, if there are actual damage experienced by customers, we will deal with those cases one by one. In my knowledge, there is no report of actual damage being incurred by the customer.
This will be one last question. That kind of Nikkei personal computer. During this press conference, there was reference of the recent acts taken by Anonymous. But the Anonymous side declares that this case was not conducted by Anonymous. But according to Mr. Hirai's explanation, at this point in time, you cannot determine definitely that it has anything to do with Anonymous. But during this press conference, there was a reference to Anonymous. Therefore, there may be some suggestion that there may be some relevance on or bearing on Anonymous. What's your view about the relationship between Anonymous and this case? What I mentioned during the initial presentation is that, as I mentioned,
there's no certainty as to the relationship or relevance of the Anonymous in this latest situation. As I said, yes, during the questions and answers session today, mentions have been made of Anonymous. Our, shall I say, relationship with the Anonymous, or it was not intended that they were implicated in any way with the latest situation. The latest improper set of intrusions in the background of what has happened to us most recently. I just refer to what's been happening in the last few months, not to imply in a way that those previous actions are related to or implicated to the latest situation directly or indirectly. They were just provided you as a background information, not to say that they were relevant or related to the latest situation. Thank you. With that, we'd like to conclude this conference. Thank you for being with us, this being a holiday. And some handouts, materials are ready, waiting for you at the reception desk. So please make sure to pick one up. Thank you once again very much for your attendance.